All right, we're ready. All right, let's call the time has arrived. It's 5:30 and time to call our Planning and Zoning Commission meeting for today, April 22nd, to order. Welcome everyone that's here. Ask Heidi if she would verify the quorum for us.
Present.
Present.
Jim Allen,
Present.
Tim Bauer,
Present.
Danny Bryant,
Here?
Matthias Rosales,
Present.
Scott Mullen, Bobby McDermott,
Present.
Ron Van Wyk.
Here.
Mr. Chairman, you do have a quorum.
Very good, thank you. Next item, if you'd stand and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance, please.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Before we get into the items on our agenda, some housekeeping. If you have parked in the rear gated employee parking lot, please move your car to the front north parking lot to avoid your car being locked in. There's no public egress from the hallway to the south parking lot. The only public entry to the building is through the north entrance near the auditorium. All access to the building is limited to staff only as security precautions. If you wish to speak tonight, please sign in at the back door on the signage sheet. When you speak tonight, before you start, we need your name and your address to be spoken clearly for the record. When you do speak, address the chairman. If you have questions, I can direct those then to any commissioner or to staff. If you have handouts, give those to the staff so that they can distribute them to commissioners. Restrooms and drinking fountains are down the hallway behind the meeting room. Feel free to use those facilities as needed. And there's no food or beverage other than water allowed in the meeting room, please. First item on tonight's agenda, item number 4, I believe has been withdrawn. Is that accurate? What's that? Yes, we'll get to the minutes, right. Next item, we'll approve the minutes of our Planning and Zoning Commission meeting from March 25th.
Second.
We have a motion by Commissioner Van Wy with a second by Commissioner McDermott to approve the minutes as published. Any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Minutes stand approved. So item number 4 has been pulled, and we won't be dealing with that tonight. So we will go to item number 5 on tonight's agenda, rezoning case number 2507. And who's presenting from staff?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Jesus Carrillo, Senior Planner, presenting rezoning case 2507. This is a request to rezone a parcel 10.04 acres in size from rural area 10-acre minimum to suburban site built 2-acre minimum. The property is located in the Yuma Mesa planning area at the southwest corner of County 13.5 Street and Avenue 7.5E in Yuma. And the intent is to split the property into 5 parcels for residential development. This is the zoning map. The property, it's highlighted in red with the crosshatch, parcel number 9. Parcel 197-22001 to the north is within the city of Yuma jurisdiction. and it's zone agriculture, and it's undeveloped desert. Parcel 1 to the east is zone suburban ranch 2-acre minimum, and it's improved with a manufactured home. Parcel 2 to the southeast is zone rural area 5-acre minimum, and it's improved with a manufactured home. Parcel 11 through 15 to the south are currently zoned SSB2, and they're all developed with side-built home dwellings. Parcel number 8 to the southwest is zoned SR2, and it's improved with the manufactured home. Parcel 5 to the west is currently zoned RA5, and it's developed with a manufactured home as well. This is the aerial view of the subject property. It's outlined in blue. No comments or questions have been received by staff from residents. MCAS provided comments. Staff recommends approval of this request, subject to the following performance conditions scheduled for development. For performance conditions, within 60 days of approval by the Board of Supervisors, the owner or agent shall record an infrastructure disclosure statement, schedule for development, in agriculture, range, and aviation disclosure statements. And for schedule for development, within 5 years of approval by the Board of Supervisors and prior to approval of land division permit, the owner shall apply for a grading and encroachment permit with the Yuma County Engineering Department to improve the new private access and utility easement 40 feet in width, and thus for conditions by application of our aggregate-based course, ABC, covered by presentation chip seal code. The end of the egress easement shall also contain the means of emergency vehicles to turn around. The turnaround shall be in accordance with 2003 International Fire Code and current Yuma County policies. For number 2, within 5 years of approval by the Board of Supervisors, the owner shall submit certification from a licensed engineer confirming the roadways referred to in items number 1 of the schedule for development were constructed according to the reference Yuma County standards. Lastly, number 3, within 5 years of approval by the Board of Supervisors, the property shall be split by means of land division permit pursuant to Section 507 of the Yuma County zoning ordinance. Any required irrigation easement shall be recorded with the land division permit. And that concludes staff presentation. Any questions for staff?
Commissioners or questions with staff? Commissioner McDermott?
Jesus, could you put the aerial photo of the area up again, please? Is there paved access to that parcel?
Mr. Chairman, Commissioner McDermott, yes, there was a improve on County 13 and a half all the way to the northwest corner of the property, and then there's a private easement along the west boundary line, property line, that is also improved. And that was a condition that was placed on the parcels when the process was rezoned for parcel number 11 through 15.
Is that within the Unit A irrigation district?
That's within
No,
Yuma Mesa,
so it's not irrigated?
not irrigated.
Oh, okay.
Any other commissioners have questions of staff?
So, Mr. Chairman,
Commissioner Van Noy?
so they will be individual wells then, correct?
Mr. Chairman, that's correct.
Any other commissioners with questions of staff? If not, we'll open the public hearing portion of the meeting tonight. Is the applicant present? Would the applicant like to speak first?
Good evening, Barry Olson, 350 West 16th Street, Suite 407 in Yuma. I'm the applicant on this case. Unless anyone has any questions, I'm not going to say much. That's the last time I was here. 1 acre project. I'm here. Yeah, came to you with a standard 2 acre project.
Does any commissioners have questions of the applicant? If not, thank you.
Hey, thank
and
you.
We'll call you if you need anything. Anyone else in the audience tonight who would like to speak concerning this rezoning case number 25-07? Seeing no one, will close the public hearing portion of the meeting and come back to commissioners for discussion and action.
Mr. Chairman,
Commissioner Van Wy?
I move that we accept rezoning case number.
Second that.
We have a motion by Commissioner Van Wy with a second by Commissioner Mosqueda to recommend approval of rezoning case number 25-07 as presented by staff. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? The recommendation for approval was unanimous. And we'll move to item number 6 on tonight's agenda. Minor amendment case number 25-03. Do we also want to open the rezoning case number 25-08 at the same time?
Correct.
So we'll open both of those cases now and ask staff for presentation.
Richard Munguia, Senior Planner. The minor amendment is a request to change the land use designation from urban density residential to local commercial, and it's located on Foothills Boulevard. And the intent is just to rezone the property to local commercial. There isn't anything
We'll
specific.
open item 11 as well. Is that what you said?
No,
No, item 6 and 7.
Oh, okay.
6 and 7 is the minor amendment, and then 7 is the rezoning case.
So the underlying land use for this is urban density residential in all adjacent directions. The applicant is proposing to change it to local commercial in order to support C1 zoning district. Subject parcel is outlined here in blue. It's a 0.37 acre parcel that's undeveloped with access off of Foothills Boulevard. The property outlined in red was recently rezoned to C1. We did not receive any comments for or against this proposal. Staff is recommending approval of the minor amendment. The rezoning is to rezone the parcel from RVS to local commercial. And again, the intent is just to rezone it with nothing specific at this time. All of the adjacent property is residentially zoned. Properties to the north, south, and east are zoned RVS, Recreational Vehicle Subdivision. The properties to the west are zoned Manufactured Home Subdivision, 10,000 square foot minimum. And the nearest commercially zoned property was the one outlined in red, just a little slightly southwest of the subject property. Subject properties here outlined in blue. There was no site plan. The access is off of Foothills Boulevard. We didn't receive any comments for or against this proposal. Staff is recommending approval subject to the conditions shown on the screen. And engineering has requested that this comment that they provided in the staff report be listed under the schedule for development, proposed as item number 2. And that concludes my report.
Very good. Thank you, sir. Any commissioners have questions of staff?
Mr. Chairman.
Commissioner Van Wy.
Mr. Munguia, did the applicant state what his possible usage was going to be?
No, just C1 at this time.
He did say that staff is recommending approval.
Correct.
Any other commissioners have questions of staff? Seeing no one, we'll open the public hearing portion of this meeting concerning minor amendment case number 25-03 and rezoning case number 25-08. Anyone in the public wish to speak concerning either of these cases? Come up, name and address for the record, please.
My name's Scott Tabery. I live at 13126 East 42nd Street. I have just a few concerns. My biggest concern is traffic and parking. The gentleman that owns this mentioned he was going to do food trucks or something, which I don't oppose, but I see how it's impacted the other residential areas down the boulevard with all the vehicles that come and go and no place to park, and it really is concerning. That is my number one concern, is where are these people going to park? Now, this gentleman over here mentioned something about the access, and I didn't quite understand it because I didn't see it before, but Was that access just for off of the boulevard and not off of 42nd Street?
Yes, that's correct. Part of the schedule for development, item number 2, states that access along Foothills Boulevard will be restricted to a single access point for the parcel.
Goodness. Appreciate it. That's all I had to say, that we're just concerned about the traffic. That particular road has no stop sign further down, and so a lot of traffic that goes back to the other community uses that road. And I was just really concerned about the amount of people that will be traveling there and trying to park at the corner. And we have seen, as I said, further down the boulevard where they have some of those other food truck things operating, that a lot of people are parking down the residential area in front of everybody's houses, and it's very concerning to us, so that's all I have.
Thank you for sharing with us. Appreciate that. Anyone else like to speak concerning this minor amendment case or the rezoning case? Yes, sir. Name and address for the record, please.
Good evening, Mr. Chairman. Aaron Selly at 728-07001, parcel number. This area is, as the picture that you have, is the old one where the manufactured home was set to one side of the lot and they intended to divide it. It was very difficult to have entrance or egress for the people that were there. It has since been removed and the lot has been gravelled over. I've gotten to speak at length to the owner on this project, and this absolutely makes sense for the community. Foothills Boulevard has been gradually growing over time, and his intent is to make something useful for the community as a whole that's year-round. The difficulty that we have in this area specifically is that most things are short-term or just for the season for visitors. Having something there that's more long-term, and with an idea that Ivan, I know, has spoken at length to at the Board of Supervisors meeting this month, I think he has a good view of our future and what he's trying to do. I do want to say that this lot has enough parking to be able to park on one side of the lot where you can see the manufactured home existed previously, and that the other side of the lot could clearly park plenty of vehicles. It's much wider than I think you can tell by the photos that were submitted. I would also disagree with the option to only enter and egress off of Foothills Boulevard, as previously they entered from Foothills and egressed from 42nd Street. It makes the traffic flow much better and provides a much better way that we can direct traffic in the future. The Board of Supervisors' concern previously with zoning things C1 on Foothills Boulevard was parking in front of housing, and that's the main concern from Fat Daddy's and other places, as I'm sure you're all well aware. In this location, I don't think we'll have that issue since it is a corner lot and there's plenty of other parking, and the owner also owns lots just down the street. Thank you, Mr.
Very
Chair.
good.
Yes.
Is the owner's intent to go with food trucks?
At this location, my understanding is no, but I'll let the owner speak to that.
Okay.
Thank you, sir. Anyone else have questions of the speaker? If not, we'll move to the next speaker.
Mr. Chairman, the applicant does not have a specific plan for this property. There are food trucks on a different property. Well, he's proposing food trucks on a different property that he owns, but it is not this one.
Not this one.
Correct.
The applicant is here.
Correct. The applicant is here.
Let's hear from him. Let's hear from him first anyway, if he wanted to come up.
Would the applicant like to come forward?
Mr. Chairman?
It doesn't matter. If the applicant would like to speak first, then she could speak after you. We got one of the commissioners wanting to hear from you.
Okay.
Yes.
Ivan Schneider.
Sorry, just a point of clarification regarding the access. The condition that is being suggested by the engineering department is simply one access point along Foothills Boulevard. The property does have access along 42nd Street.
It's
which
not
can-
going to have two accesses from Foothills Boulevard, just one, and they can come in and go out 42nd the way he
Yes,
just
correct.
described. Thank you, Maggie. Appreciate
welcome.
that clarification. Yes, sir. Tell us what,
Ivan Schneider. Yes, I want to rezone the property C1. Oh, address 12269. Is that the correct one?
Your address.
your home address.
Home address. Oh, 11528 South
You
Side.
remembered that one.
Yeah, I know that one. I had my wife write these here down, so I knew where which ones you were. I do have something in my mind what I want to put on that property, and I've already talked to the pet grooming lady, and then I was thinking maybe a doctor's office, something low-key is what I was thinking on that property. Not the food court. I've already proposed the food court with you guys, and that will work on that property. This property is really small, and so I was thinking something low-key, like I said, maybe a pet grooming place or doctor's office. There's a gal that me and my wife and some friends have been going to get some shots at for weight loss, and it's worked really well, by the way, but she's looking for another place. She's on the frontage road, but she proposed to, rent from me too, so I just was gonna zone it C1 first, and then see who was gonna be the best fit for me, and then come back to you guys and propose that.
I don't think it has to come back to us, right? I mean, if it gets C1, then staff will take it from that
Right.
point to make sure you got proper parking for what you're proposing.
Yeah.
But yes, any questions from anyone for the applicant? If not, thank you for coming and sharing with us.
All right.
And then the next speaker that would like to speak?
Denise Snyder at 13152 East 42nd Drive. My concern is I don't see anything what he's using it for, so I don't know what he is using that property for. And I know he got approval for the food court he wants to do on the other side. My issue is that there is no commercial property past 40th Street all the way down. The only thing on Foothills Boulevard past 40th Street is the new Roll Fire Station. Everything is residential. I do not think that the county, even though it already says you guys approved it, I do not think that it should be commercial property on a residential side of the lot. When it was originally planned, that Foothills was planned, there was supposed to be no commercial properties past 40th Street. Well, the owners, of course, built their store, the Chevron station, and blah, 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 and it's just progressed from there on the one side. The other side, there is no commercial properties, and I do not think there should be commercial properties on that side. But my question is, what does he plan on using it for? It doesn't say anything to me on this, except that he wants to change it to commercial. So that's my question.
Did you hear him when he said he's looking at maybe a pet grooming or maybe a doctor's office or some kind of use, but he doesn't know yet what's going to be used for. But
Well, then you guys,
there are limitations of what businesses can be located in a C1 category. So you could look at the C1 category and determine the list of possibilities there.
well, my concern is, and my feeling is that he used the other property that now he wants to use for the food court as a parking lot for selling vehicles. He buys vehicles from people, fixes them up or whatever he does, I don't know. Anyway, he sells them. Well, now this property on the other side, and he was using that before you guys even allowed it to be commercial. And then on this side, where I'm protesting, is I'm assuming that he's going to sell his cars over there. I have no idea. But whatever he's going to do, I don't know why the council would like to have commercial on the side of the road, and you're going to have it like a half a block away, have another stop and go. I just don't understand why they want to have commercial on that side of the road when it's all residential.
Thank you for sharing with us. We
And I would like
appreciate
to have that on my record, is that I'm protesting it. It says you had to do it ahead of time, and I did not know that. So I didn't realize that. So I could have done it, could have sent you an email.
We could tell by your conversation that you were protesting.
Yeah.
You did a good job.
I figured that.
You did a good job.
But it already says approved. I don't understand why you have meetings. If you're already approved them, I don't understand why you're having meetings. I used to be on a board many years ago through the planning and zoning in Idaho, and we don't make approvals until we hear all the evidence or all the questions or all the concerns. So I don't know why it says approved.
Well,
Have an approval.
staff is recommending approval, but the commission hasn't voted yet. And then, of course, it goes to the Board of Supervisors for it. You get two bites at the apple. But thank you for sharing with us. We appreciate it. Anyone else in the audience tonight that would like to speak concerning this minor amendment case or the rezoning case? Seeing no one, we'll close the public hearing portion of the meeting and come back to commissioners for discussion and action.
Yes, Mr. Chairman, Mr. Munguia, if I'm not mistaken, there, on that side of the road, there is other commercial property just down the road from there, is there not?
I believe it's 44th Street?
44th, right.
Not 100% sure on it, but there is commercial property further south.
And a half a mile.
Well, what's the building across the street right south of the Target? Looks commercially.
Those are all RVS zoned, residentially
Okay.
zoned property.
Any other commissioners?
I have a problem with no idea what's gonna go in, but it will have to come back to us when he decides what type of commercial business he wants to put in, correct?
No, the staff, as long as it falls within the C1 zoning category, it won't come back to us. Staff will
Okay.
take care of it. Now, if he did something that would require a special use permit or more density and, he'd have to change zoning categories, but if it fits in the C1 category, staff can handle it from here. Any other commissioners? What's the pleasure of the commission?
Chairman, I move that we accept minor amendment case number 25-03 as presented by staff.
Second.
We have a motion by Commissioner Van Wy with a second by Commissioner Rosales to recommend approval of minor amendment case 25-03 as presented. Is there any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
Nay?
The record show one dissenting vote. Then we'll move to the rezoning case number 25-08.
Chairman, I move again that we accept rezoning case, approve rezoning case number 25-08 as presented by staff.
Second.
There is a motion by Commissioner Van Wy with a second by Commissioner Rosales to recommend approval of rezoning case 25-08 as presented by staff. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
Nay?
Motion carried with one dissenting vote. Item number 8 on tonight's agenda is rezoning case 25-09. And staff will be. Oh, I skipped one.
2509.
Oh.
45.
2509.
09, yeah, 09.
Rezoning case 2509, that's next,
Number
yeah.
8. Yeah. You're okay.
I'm believing you. That you believe me.
You're not losing it. You're not losing it.
Would somebody correct him?
I guess I'm losing.
So,
Yeah.
staff's,
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Jesus Carrillo, Senior Planner, presenting rezoning case 2509.
yeah, thank you.
The request is to rezone a parcel 14,375 square feet in size for low density residential, 27 square foot minimum, to medium density residential. The property is located in the Northwest Yuma planning area at 3223 West 5th Street, Yuma, Arizona. And the intent is to split the property to develop multifamily dwellings. This is the zoning map. The subject property is highlighted in red, parcel 140. Parcel 75 directly to the north is zone manufactured home park, MHP. Parcel 138 to the northwest is zone low density residential, 600 square foot minimum, and it's a location of Banmo Home Park. It's a non-conforming park. Parcel to the east and south are zone R120 and low density residential, 8,000 square foot minimum. And lastly, parcels to the west are zone R120 and MHP. All surrounding parcels are developed with a mixture of manufactured homes and side builds. And this is the aerial imagery. Subject property, it's outlined in green. And there's another aerial view. Property is outlined in blue. No comments received from outside agencies. Staff recommends approval of this request based on the request being complied with the comprehensive plan, subject to the performance conditions. Within 60 days of approval by the Board of Supervisors, the owner or agent shall record an infrastructure disclosure statement. And that concludes that presentation, and the applicants are not present.
Thank you, sir. Any commissioners have questions of
Yes, sir.
staff? Commissioner McDermott?
Yes, how many dwellings are planned for this parcel?
Mr. Chairman, the potential they can go is 3 homes. 3.
So that's single family or, I just, how many
Townhome condominiums.
parking and things like that, vehicles and on your aerial photo, it showed like there was an encroachment from one side already on that, whatever that pink roof is down there. Is that encroached on his property?
That's just an imagery that reflects where possibly the property line is located. It's not 100% accurate.
That pink area, Bobby, says Northwest Yuma. It's just a name.
Yeah, that's the name of the plan area. It's labeled.
Oh, gotcha.
Any other commissioners have questions of staff? If not, we'll open the public hearing portion of the meeting tonight and ask if there's anyone present who would like to speak concerning rezoning case number 25-09. Seeing no one, we'll close the public hearing portion of the meeting and come back to the commissioners for discussion and action.
Mr. Chairman, staff,
Van Ryn.
when it comes to the size of this property, is there a minimum or a maximum size of square footage of home that is allowed to be on there if it is split?
Maximum home size?
Square footage of a home?
As long as it falls within the setback requirements and so
setback.
forth, yeah. I mean,
And lot coverage.
yeah, lot coverage and all that stuff.
Just looking at it, it's kind of small to be able to have 3 homes.
It's 160 feet deep. You could put a triplex on that roof.
Mr. Chairman, if you go to your staff report on page 1 and page 2, the last paragraph of page 1, and at the beginning of the page number 2, it says R2 zoning district is intended to provide areas of medium density, single-family residential on minimal lot sizes of 4,000 square feet. The minimum parcel size for lots within the R2 district is 4,000 square feet per dwelling unit, except lots for townhouses, which may reduce to 3,000 square feet as long as the overall density of the development does not exceed 12 units per acre, excluding right-of-ways and common lots.
Mr. Chairman,
Yes, Commissioner Rosales.
no further questions. We take a motion.
Yes, sir.
I make a motion to approve rezoning case number 2509 as presented by staff.
I'll second that.
We have a motion by Commissioner Rosales with a second by Commissioner Mosqueda to recommend approval of rezoning case 25-09 as presented by staff. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion to recommend approval was unanimous. Next item on tonight's agenda is rezoning case number 25-10. Staff report, please.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Jesus Carrillo. This request is to rezone a parcel 50,000 square feet in size from manufactured home subdivision, 10,000 square foot minimum, to manufactured home, 6,000 square foot minimum. The property is located in the Northwest Yuma planning area at the south side of Columbia Avenue, approximately 690 feet east of the Center Street in Yuma. And the intent is to split the property for residential development. This is the zoning map. Properties highlighted in yellow are currently zoned MH10. Parcel highlighted in green are currently zoned R120. And the parcels highlighted in blue are currently zoned MH6. Parcel is highlighted in red. And this is the aerial view of the site property, outlined in blue. Another aerial imagery. Yuma County Water Users Association provided the following comments. Zoning classification changes do not absolve the property from its obligation to the USBR and Yuma County Water Associations. All project charges on the site property must be paid prior to development as required by reclamation law. Operation and maintenance assessment will continue if unpaid become a lien upon the land. The applicant got in contact with the Yuma Canada Water Associations, and everything is being paid off already. And staff recommends approval of this request based on the request being in compliance within the comprehensive plan, subject to the following performance conditions. Within 60 days of approval by the Board of Supervisors, the owner or agent shall record an infrastructure disclosure statement. And that concludes staff presentation. Any questions?
Any commissioners have questions of staff? Seeing not, we will open the public hearing portion of the meeting and ask if there's anyone in the public that would like to speak concerning rezoning case 25-10. Seeing no one, we'll close the public hearing portion of the meeting and come back to commissioners for discussion and action.
Chairman?
Commissioner Van Wy.
If there are no questions, I would recommend that we approve rezoning case number 25-10 as presented by staff.
I'll second.
We have a motion by Commissioner Van Wy with a second by Commissioner Bowers to recommend approval of rezoning case number 25-10 as presented by staff. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? The recommendation for approval was unanimous. We'll move to item number 10 on tonight's agenda, special use permit case number 25-05. And ask staff for their report, please.
Richard Munguia, Senior Planner. This is special use permit request to allow an accessory dwelling unit on a parcel 0.67 gross acres in size. It's own manufactured home subdivision, 4,500 square foot minimum. The address is 3501 West Main Canal Road, and the intent is to place an accessory dwelling unit on the property. The property is identified right here, highlighted by the crosshatch. Parcels to the west and the south are within the Siesta Acres subdivision, and they're zoned MHS 4.5. And they're developed with a mixture of site-built residences and manufactured homes. The parcel directly to the north is the West Main Canal, and the parcel to the east is a manufactured home park, and it's the site of Desert Breeze RV Park. Subject parcel is outlined here in blue. It's not part of any recorded subdivision. Currently has one single-family dwelling on site. Although there's a few other structures on there, the structures that are there are storage units, and the RVs are no longer on the site, and the smaller buildings are the storage sheds. This site plan identifies the proposed location. It's highlighted in red. No comments were received either for or against this proposal. And that concludes, and these are the, staff is recommending approval, subject to the conditions, operational and performance conditions. And that concludes my report.
Any commissioners have questions of staff? If not, we'll open the public hearing portion of tonight's meeting and ask if there's anyone here tonight to comment on special use permit case 25-05. Seeing no one, we'll close the public hearing portion and come back to commissioners.
Chairman?
Yes,
If
Commissioner Rosales.
If no questions or concerns, can I make a motion?
Certainly, sir.
Make a motion to approve special use permit case number 25-5 as presented by staff.
Second.
We have a motion by Commissioner Rosales with a second by Commissioner Van Wy to recommend approval of special use permit case 25-05 as recommended and presented by staff. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? The recommendation to recommend approval was unanimous. Item number 11 on tonight's agenda, special use permit case 25-06. Staff report, please.
Richard Munguia, Senior Planner. This special use permit request is to allow an outdoor food court with food trucks and outdoor seating on a parcel just under 1 acre, and the property is zoned local commercial, C1. The address is 12330 South Foothills Boulevard. This property was recently rezoned to local commercial, and it is surrounded by residentially zoned property on all sides. Subject parcel is outlined in blue. It's just under 1 acre, and it's undeveloped, and it has access off of Foothills Boulevard. The applicant did provide an updated site plan shown here. It's a little faint. It was drawn in pencil. The applicant will still need to provide everything like buffering and screening for the portions of the property that are directly adjacent to residential. There was one letter in opposition from a property owner within the radius area, and it came after the publishing of the staff report. Staff is recommending approval, subject to the performance conditions and the schedule for development. The applicant has requested the removal of item number 5 on the schedule for development and modification of item number 3 to change the hours of operation. And that concludes my staff report.
What was item number 3?
Item number 3 is the hours of operation from 5 a.m. until 6 p.m. is what staff has proposed. And the applicant would like to be from 5 a.m. until 9 p.m.
Okay. Any commissioners have questions of staff?
Chairman?
Commissioner McDermott.
From that drawing, I couldn't, how many vendors are going to be on that property?
It looks like it would be 6 vendors. Is that correct?
Mr. Chairman,
Yes.
staff is not recommending a limit as far as the number of food trucks that can be on the property. As long as the applicant can meet minimum development standards, as long as he can comply with the zoning ordinance, there is no limit.
So, I'm
Commissioner?
not quite clear. Is it going to be food trucks or is it going to be permanent structures?
We'll hear from the applicant here, and we'll
Okay.
ask him to come forward and do that. Any other commissioners have questions of staff?
Yes. Mr. Chairman.
Commissioner Van Ryn.
Yeah, what is the purpose of removing number 5?
So number 5 is the validity of the SUP. It's currently at 10 years, and the applicant has requested to completely remove it so that there would be no expiration.
What is our standard SUP for some type of situation as this?
One of the previous SUPs that I looked at was 10 years.
Just a question, have we ever given special use permits with no expiration date?
Mr. Chairman,
this type of situation?
each case is handled on a case-by-case basis. There are times, for example, for accessory dwelling units.
Right,
staff
that would
recommend
certainly
the time
be-
limit.
Right.
There may be other uses that staff would maybe not recommend a time limit. In this case, based on the nature of this, of the proposed use, that would give us, the time limit would give us the opportunity to
Another
review
bite at the
the,
apple.
to review the case at the expiration of the time limit to see if the use is still an appropriate use for that property.
So if, basically what we're saying then, Commissioner, is that if it expires, then he just comes back to renew it. I mean, that's correct? Or
That's correct.
Commissioner McDermott.
Ingress and egress, is there going to be 2 separate places? Or is everybody going to be coming and going out of the
Site plan shows
the same one?
There is 2 points of access. On the site plan provided, we have one for entering and one for exiting.
Okay. And is there a buffer area or wall or something going to be around this development?
It will be required for the portions of the property that are directly adjacent to the residentially zoned property.
What Commissioner McDermott's asking about is whether there be some type of median that will determine the flow of traffic.
Oh, we got the engineer.
Hello, Arturo Alvarez, Engineering Department. The site plan will be evaluated when they submit a building permit, and I believe there's a point of entry and exit to the property. And that's going to be evaluated depending on the number of spaces and so forth.
Any other questions of Commissioners? Not, the applicant is here. Would the applicant like to speak first?
Ivan Schneider, 11528, Sandra. On the reason I wanted 5 removed is I'm getting ready to tie into Foothills Utilities, and that's roughly 25,000 to tie into that. I'm gonna have Electric, they gotta do a 400 amp service to provide power for the food trucks, and that's gonna be about $30,000, let alone the investment I have in the property, and then I was gonna put the concrete and shade structure and so forth, so I'm like 150,000 that I'm gonna be investing in this property. It's gonna take me 10 years to return my money at that point. So I'd like to have, and obviously as long as, my daughter's gonna end up at this place, but as long as my family owns, I'd like to have that opportunity to have this special use permit, if not at least like a 30-year special use permit, something on my return. And then the operation hours, I think it was 6 to 6, but I got a group of guys that want to have coffee way earlier than me, but it's usually 5:30. And I wanted to have coffee and breakfast at this place. So that's why I wanted to have like 5 a.m. to 9 p.m. I'm sure nobody's going to be open at 9 p.m., but I want to be in complete compliance with you guys or the rules that you guys are going to give me. So I don't want to have like 7 p.m. and then them guys out there at 8 p.m. and then I got complaints, you know? I don't want that. So that's why I'm asking for 9 p.m. on that. And there is one way in, one way out, and there's kind of a buffer in the center. There's a concrete common seating area, and everything's going to be plainly marked for parking stalls.
What are you gonna do with the guy who shows up at 9:30?
It's going to be lights out. There's going to be nobody open. I mean, everybody I want to rent, and I've already I got 3 people that already want to rent from me, but like I wanted, none of the two are the same, right? So I wanted somebody to serve breakfast. I want somebody to serve coffee. I want somebody to serve hamburgers, somebody to serve tacos, you know, like beef taco, pork tacos, fish tacos. Just everything different in this food court, and I want to make a nice seating area. There's no, like I said before when I came before you guys, there's no place to sit down in the foothills. There's no place to park anymore. After they took the eatery out, there's all you got left is they changed the name from Jimmy K's to something else. You know, that's the only place you have, and it's overly crowded. In the winter months, everybody wants to sit outside. That's why I wanted to do that common area. It's going to be a big patio, and it's going to have bathrooms, not porta toilets. You know, I want to build a nice place, but I want to make sure that I can protect my investment. That's like the special use part. I want to extend my special use permit. I'm going to invest a lot of money in this place. It just isn't going to be a gravel parking lot where everybody is free for all and parks where they want. You know, that's why I'm trying to make a nice area, and I want to be in compliance, like I said, with everybody, but I got to have a little bit of room to work with that, and I'll stay in that compliance.
Question.
Yes.
Mr. Rice.
I'm looking at, the shade concrete is roughly 2,400 square feet. And the area that I'm on my little deal is for your trucks is going to be about the same area?
The trucks will be in the very back of the property. Everybody's going to have like a 30 by 30 area, the trucks in the back.
Oh, that, in the back of that, that's where the trucks are going to be
Yes.
in the back?
Yes, because there's going to be an entrance and exit, and that's something, I've already talked to sign masters about making some lighted enter signs and exit signs. Like I said, I want to make this place nice and very easy for the elderly to see and know how to go in and out of this property. That's why I was going to put all the food trucks in the back. And then I changed the parallel parking to the outsides of the fence rather than by the patio, because then that way people could just walk to the patio and have a common area to sit down. In front of them food trucks are going to have a common area also to sit down there too, or to stand there and eat or order their food. I'm limited on space, but I think that I organize it pretty decently, which there again, it has to go to the engineering too, you know, to be approved. But the way I designed it, I think that it'll work well. Because like in the other instance, like Fat Daddies and stuff like that, they do park on the street in front of people's houses and driveways. You can't do that on the property I own. I'm basically landlocked, you know. It's just, you got to enter and you got to exit there. But that's why I want to do one way in, one way out, kind of a circle. And if it gets too full, you just can't park in there. You know, they just got to leave. But I want to make it year-round. That's another thing, too, I want to make a point. I want this place year-round. So that's why I was going to put half in shade and half not, because
in the winter months, you want to be out in the sunlight, sitting in the sun and enjoying your evenings, right? In the summer, you need some misters, so I was gonna put misters and stuff under the shade structure and then heaters on the outside. So it'll be a year-round place for everybody to go to.
What type of wall is around the property?
It's got a, I call it chicken shit brick, but you know, the Mexican brick around there, yes. So it's, I think, it's roughly 5 and 6 foot. I had the back wall even with the other 2 walls. So it depends where you're out on the property. It's 5, 6 foot tall, which if I need to go up, I think the saying's changed to 7 foot tall, I think, in the foothills. If it needs to go up to 7 foot tall, that's not a problem either. Another one, the live music. You know, I had really no intentions on no live music, but my daughter said it would be probably nice to have live music. I understand that. I think they had it for 6 o'clock, but I'd like to have that to 7 o'clock. And then that's not too late, you know, that's shutting down at sundown. So I'd like to change that also to 7 o'clock for live music.
Any other commissioners have questions of the applicant? All right, if we need other questions, we'll call you back up, all right?
Thank you.
Public hearing portion of this meeting is open. Is there anyone here tonight who would like to speak concerning this special use permit case 25-06? Yes, sir.
13126 East 42nd Street.
We got some music, oh, we got the music stopped, okay. We had a sample of the live music for a little bit.
7 o'clock.
Sorry, yes, sir.
As a neighbor, I don't object to anything he's requesting to do on this particular property.
Very good, thank you.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Mr. Chairman, Aaron Selly, APN number 72807-001. I think that we need to address a few things out in the foothills, especially with the special use permits. I think a revocable special use permit might be in the best interest of the board and the county. And the reason is I think we're running into problems with Fat Daddies and there's nothing we can do because the special use permit is in place for such a long period of time. I think it would incentivize the owner to do the right thing and to work with us as a community instead of blanketly either giving them 10 years or nothing, right? As long as the owner maintains control of that property, I think the special use permit should be in effect the same way as an ADU special use permit. We don't require owners to come back and request another special use permit for their ADUs. I don't think we should in this case either, to be honest. It makes planning difficult for owners and for the community, and the owner would be incentivized to do the right thing and to come back before the commission in case he was to lose it because of bad behavior, shall we say. The other thing I think we need to consider is we should not punish this owner for the misdeeds of others, right? Fat Daddy's is open until 10 p.m. almost every night during the season, and they only started having problems recently. I think if this owner can prove that he can maintain the area, the facilities, the parking, and the place in a way that's beneficial to the community, he should be able to open from the standard hours until 10 p.m. I believe that that's in the best interest of the community and this owner's right to do what he needs to do with his property in the long term.
Thank you for sharing that with us. Any other members of the public here to speak concerning this special use permit case 25-06? No, we'll close the public hearing portion of the meeting. Come back and let me ask staff a question about revoking a special use permit. If he's operating and he's out of compliance without a time limit, how difficult is it to revoke a special use permit?
It can be done. I'm not sure of the process at this time, but it can be done.
Mr. Chairman, the zoning ordinance does have a procedure for revocation of special use permits if they are not in compliance with the conditions of approval.
So let me explore a little further. If you wanted to have him come back in after 10 years to renew, and he was in compliance on everything, what would be the purpose of coming in to renew a special use permit if he's in compliance with everything?
Mr. Chairman, the purpose of reapplying for a new special use permit at the termination of the time limit is to continue to operate as requested.
Right, right. I understand, but I understand both sides. I mean, I understand this thing of having to take a close look at it after 10 years, but also understand the problem if you invest a lot of money. You never know, next time there might be, 5 competitors come in and complain that they don't like the competition and try to keep him from getting his special use permit. What's staff's position, what's staff's position on an unlimited time special use permit?
Staff is not in favor of not requiring a time limit.
Is staff in favor of considering a longer expiration date than 10 years?
Mr. Chairman, that is up to the Planning Commission to make that recommendation. Staff stick with the recommendation.
Maggie's so good.
That's why I was laughing. I was waiting for her.
Yeah, and does the special use permit go with the land or with the person?
Mr. Chairman, the special use permit goes with the land.
To the land.
Okay.
So if you change people, then you.
They would still be in effect if you changed people.
Correct, but that way you wouldn't lose all control. If it doesn't go with the person, then when it's sold, you would have to have the new person agree to the what's going on.
It's automatic.
That's
Yeah.
automatically put in when the sale, but also, Mr. Chairman, if I may, Bobby, are you done? I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Okay. The possibility of revocation is automatically set in there anyway, no matter
Right.
what. It could be 1 week, it could be a year, it could be 5 years. The county, if they get enough complaints, they do an investigation and they would have the potential to revoke the SUP at that point in time. So, I see where you're coming from as well. To invest a great deal amount of money into something, I would like to believe that the gentleman would remain compliant. But with that being said, you're not going to always have total control over your property if you follow me. You're not going to be there 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. So things can happen, unfortunately. And so, unless anybody else has anything, I would like to make a motion. But
Let's talk about the time request. The time request, I wanted to get, if staff has recommended live music until 6 o'clock, and he's asking for 7.
Mr. Chairman, the applicant is requesting live music till 10 p.m.
10.
No, he said 7.
He said 7.
Live music till 7. And staying open till 9 p.m.
Until 9 p.m.
Yeah, so,
Now, if you want to get him to 10, he's not going to say no. But I think that's Fat Daddy's that has it till 10 o'clock. Yeah, it's too late. Yeah.
any other questions from commissioners? Commissioner Van Nuys?
No.
Why don't we? I have a question for staff.
Oh, Commissioner Allen.
Have you ever revoked a special use permit?
I have not.
Mr. Chairman, first of all, the action to revoke goes to the Board of Supervisors. I don't recall an instance of where a special use permit has been revoked by the board.
It would have to be really not following the rules and having a lot.
Agrees.
Most people that, for the investment that they're doing, if you're doing a SUP and you're investing, you're going to try to follow the
Try to
rules and
follow the
avoid
rules,
that.
correct.
So that's the kind of the guarantee that, people are going to have some interest in making sure that's being followed as well. With that said, Mr. Chairman, if there's no, would you take a motion?
Commissioner Rosales?
I would make a motion to approve special use permit case number 2505 with the staff's recommendations, but changing item number 4 to 7 and the other item to stay open to 9 p.m., whatever number that was. I actually think the 10 years, we've done that always, and I think that's something to help, like I said, regulate. And as long as they're following it, there should be no reason why it's not going to be extended in 10 years. Again, granted, we don't know the future, but it gives a reason for them to make sure it's being done. And also, if it changes ownership, review at that time in case it happens. So I would leave that part alone.
I agree.
Second that motion.
Okay, let me restate. We have a motion by Commissioner Rosales with a second by Commissioner Mosqueda to recommend approval of special use case number 25-06 with the changes of a 7 o'clock PM live music time and a 9 o'clock PM for closing times. Now we're open for discussion. Is there any discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Any opposed? The recommendation for approval was unanimous for special use permit case 25-06. Number 12 on tonight's agenda is discussion by commissioners and planning staff of events attended, current events, and the schedule of any future commission meetings. Does anyone have anything to share? If not, item number 13 is call to the public. This is an opportunity for anybody in the public to come speak about anything that you would like to share with us. Does anyone in the audience have anything to share tonight? What's the deal with our future commissioner? We do have a future commissioner. Is he still here?
Yeah, he's back there,
Yeah.
he's learning, you know, trying to
Yes,
figure out.
so we will have our seat. We have Hugo in the back. He's been a, huh?
Your name and address for the record.
Yeah.
Public time, you can introduce yourself.
Yeah.
All of
come
the
on.
public, introduce yourself.
17621 South Avenue A, Somerton. My name is Hugo Garcia, and I believe I'm going to be the future Planning and Zoning Commission.
Right, as Mr. Black has rotated off the board, and so Hugo will be taking his place and starting with the meeting next month. Welcome. Welcome. And thanks for coming, and you sat in on a little bit of tonight's meeting, so you see how Commissioner Rosales kind of mixes things up.
Okay.
Can you kind of keep him under control a little bit when you?
I'll try.
All right, thank you, Hugo.
Thank you.
All right, if nothing else, all business has been conducted. This meeting stands adjourned. Thank you all for coming. Amen.